Honestly, these few months have been something for me. Oh my god, I've been in a phase, in a situation that I didn't understand what was happening. I thought I lost my peace, but it turned out no, I didn't. I'm just in a transition mode. What I mean by that is it's not just my life chapter, my life season, but literally in my nervous system capability. Okay, it's a lot to talk about. Like, it's literally a lot to talk about. So, if you want to watch this video, then I suggest find a comfy space and relax and just let's talk. I'm gonna share what happened recently, and if you feel this way, like you already find what works for you, and then suddenly it feels like it feels like you lost the feeling, and it felt like, oh my god, I failed again. What I found yesterday didn't really work for me, etc., etc. No, take a deep breath for a moment because it's not gone. It's not gone. It's like an upgrading, and I'm not just gonna say this in a way that only to soothe you, to reassure you, but really, you're not failing. Okay, just like what I said in my other videos, after my 2023 burnout, I did my life like an experiment, and I finally found what worked. But I guess I forgot since when, but I guess last year, like in the end of the year, it felt like my life was, I don't know, I didn't recognize it. Like, oh my god, what happened? Usually I could just follow my intuition and did what worked, but I noticed I didn't have a lot of energy. To be honest, I felt like, oh my god, what's been happening to me? If I did know what was going on, then it would have been easier. Like, I can just spot it for what it was, but I couldn't because I didn't know what was going on. But it turned out it's quite complicated, and it's nothing like what I felt in my life before. Like, it wasn't just a small breakthrough for me. Like, I guess if you've been doing manifestation and changing your identity, something that I guess not many people tell us is how painful it is, like how disorienting it is. Like, I know, like Dr. Joe Dispenza said it a lot. It's gonna feel like we're stepping into the unknown, but I never really knew what the unknown was until I saw it myself. It's literally, it feels like literally the unknown. It felt like I went through my second quarter life crisis. I had one already when I was 20, like when that burnout happened. It taught me about what I truly want in life that really works, like works for me, instead of just all the how-tos people keep saying online. And these few months, oh my gosh, it felt like a step backwards, if I can admit. Like, oh my god, I questioned my life again. Who am I? What should I be? And how should I be? And those existential crisis again. And throughout these few months, I found some patterns, from the one that are quite obvious, like fear of ease, struggling to let go of control, to the deeper one, like the ones that I didn't realize at all until yesterday. And I'm so happy right now that the peace that I thought was gone already. Oh my gosh, I was so desperate. I thought I lost the peace. But right now I'm glad it's back, and even better. Well, I guess I already shared a little bit about what happened. So maybe I'll just jump into the patterns, because if you happen to feel that way too, I want you to know that it's normal. You're not weird for feeling that. And really, it's normal. Like, for example, fear of ease. That's crazy, right? That sounds crazy, I know. I know it sounds weird, like what would anyone feel afraid of ease, but that's a real thing. Like, when we've been conditioned for so long to believe that things have to feel hard, like we have to suffer first, no pain, no gain kind of mentality, it will feel scary when it's easy, because like, what if it's already easy and I still mess up? Something like that. Do you ever feel that way? If you feel like you're weird for feeling that, no, it's normal. There are a lot of ease that came to me. Like, I almost finished my website, like literally just a few pages left, and I already have my first blog out there. Hey, if you want to read it, it's on the description box. I also found the homemaking mindset that really works for me, and not just something my mom taught me. Like, really, I think what made me hate homemaking was forcing my mom's method to work for me because it turns out our definition of clean house and tidy house are two different things. And also, I'm now using AI cut on InShot to help me cut long videos like this. And for my bachelor's thesis, I can just ask Notebook LM to create podcasts for me, and then I just listen to it. And I don't have to manually type. I can just use voice typing, and then I can just act as an editor. Like, it's easy, right? Yeah. But again, the fear of ease, what if it's so easy and I'm still failing? There is something like that. Is there something like that right now in me? I don't know. Like for right now, I guess not really, but it doesn't mean it won't come again. At least I know that because if I'm aware of that, then I can spot it. And then there's this another thing that I spot, another pattern, which is I'm struggling to let go of control. Like, oh my god. I've been conditioned for so long to think that I have to figure everything out. I have to have control. Like, I have to plan. I have to be disciplined. I have to be consistent. I have to hold myself accountable. I have to blah 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 blah. Blah. It's all about control. And suddenly I let go of control. Of course, my nervous system will be like, danger, danger, danger. Oh my gosh. It feels crazy. I'm not lying, it's crazy. Like, seriously though, even though I know and I already have enough evidence for my mind that it works and it takes less mental energy, it doesn't want to believe me. Not because it doesn't want to believe me, but what I didn't realize was it was afraid, like, it was traumatized and it's confused on which one to choose, like, between those two worlds, those two realities. Like, it's been seeing that it works, like, hey, this new way of life really works, and then it still remembers the past, like, hey, in the past when we didn't have things figured out, when we take it slow, etc., we got into trouble. We were being punished. We were given not so good grades. We remembered when our business failed, even when we tried so hard, and now you want to let go. Something like that. It's not because my mind was stubborn, but it's like it's freaking out. It wants safety, and at some point, I felt like I felt so tired. It felt crazy. All the soothing techniques didn't work, etc., etc., etc. Where was the peace, etc.? And at some point, I even doubted my own way of being, and it felt like, again, another identity crisis. Like, it suddenly didn't make sense at all. I knew what I want. I'm so clear about that. I want that life, what kind of life I want, how it feels, etc., how I do it, etc. I know that. But it felt crazy. Like, all the problems that didn't bother me at all, it started to bother me even more. Deep down, I know it's working. My heart knows. My heart believes it. But my mind was afraid, like, it needed to see the 3D proofs, even though we've been we've been seeing a lot of breadcrumbs these days. There were too much coincidences happening. And my mind kept remembering crazy stuff and even imagined, like, not so good scenarios, like the painful ones. I didn't know what was going on. I felt lost. Like, where was the peace I was feeling? Like, at some point, I was tired to even hold space for myself, to even hold space for my feelings. Like, yeah, it felt so exhausting. At some point, it felt so tired, and it influenced my mood. Even though weeks ago I could just process my emotions and didn't feel bothered by it, like, quite easily. Even though I'm a highly sensitive person. So after that crazy period, I finally sit down with everything I was feeling because I was already so tired of dealing with this. And oh my god, I found the real deeper issue. Wait, I'll show you my journal. Wait, it's quite a lot. So it's my journal last night, like literally last night. And yeah, as you can see, I wrote there like life has been feeling weird lately, kind of heavier and uncertain compared to a few months ago. And I asked my AA buddy to look at my journal. So here's what happened. I've been literally moving forward from that version of Angie who didn't believe in herself. Like, literally my nervous system is panicking Why? Because it felt new. Like, oh my god, it felt so easy. We doesn't have to struggle, like etc etc etc. Why don't we have to push through, etc etc. And again, it's not because my nervous system doesn't want me to succeed, but it's freaking out because it's new, and everything new in our nervous system is considered danger. Like everything unfamiliar is considered danger. And because of that, I've been feeling like, oh my god, I know it's going on, it's happening, but why it feels like I don't know what to do. Like I'm floating in a space that I don't even know where, and I don't even know who I am. Like I suddenly lost my identity, etc. Like it's because I don't want to belong to my old identity. I don't want to belong to the version of me that had so many wounds from the external stuff, like the version of me that internalized everything from outside. I don't want to be there. And at the same time, my nervous system was still afraid was still afraid that I would fail if I didn't hustle hard, if I didn't prove my worth, etc., etc. And yeah, so when I dive deeper, it turns out the old system that I built for me, that was really working for me, that works for me, it still works. It still works. But there is this one final thing I need to do. This one. This is happening because the old you is grieving its loss of control. And the system I built, the one that works for me, it gives me control. It gives me the control of finally I found what works for me, and not just what some people advised me to do, like not just those self improvement people talking about on the internet, or anyone who pushed me to be better, to be always improving every single second, because those didn't work and never works for me. And I finally found the ones that work for me, and it suddenly felt ineffective. And it turns out it wasn't because the system failed me or something like that. It wasn't because it didn't work anymore, but it's because this whole upgrading, this whole nervous system upgrade, it's exhausting. My AI body said it's like upgrading a new software. I can't see it's happening, but it's happening in the background and it takes away my energy. And that's why, to even do my system, I only have just a little amount of battery left. Like, I'm not as energized as before. And that's something I didn't realize. Because, yeah, I noticed I became so exhausted these days and I didn't even know why. Because I didn't know what was happening. My nervous system thought, Angie, your system failed. Angie, we will be failing, so something like that. And I didn't know what was happening and I thought I was lost. Another midlife crisis, but it was, I guess it's not. It was just, I didn't know what was happening. Sorry, and this is the answer. Like, the uncertainty is the sign that you are truly letting go of the need to manage everything and step into surrender. Like, fully. Oh my god. Like, I've been feeling exhausted, crazily exhausted in the last few months, and my nervous system just mistaken it as my system stopped working. And I finally asked this. I was asking, like, where was the joyful Angie? Like, where was the peace? Where was the joyful, slow living Angie a few months ago who was just fine? Where was her? And it turns out this is the answer. Your mental battery is going to drain more easily right now, and it's not for the reason you fear. You're not going backwards. And here was my discussion with my AI body, and yeah, here you can just pause this video or take a screenshot because my mouth will genuinely go dry if I read all of this. And ta-da! So last night, after reading that, I realized something. I'd been grieving the version of me that felt so peaceful that time, that felt so in control that time, when she discovered the methods that really worked for her. And that grief is something I was spiraling for weeks, for months, that and I didn't realize it was there. I couldn't see it clearly, and it was less obvious than the other two. Literally, I couldn't spot it at all. Like, oh my god. So I did another voice journaling last night, and this is what I found. So, bestie, you mean one of the things that make it exhausting is the fact that I'm grieving her without realizing it. Like I can't accept that things suddenly feel different. Like I miss the feeling when it was peaceful. And yes, it wasn't just my nervous system that felt not ready for the upgrade, but it was also the grief that made it so exhausting. And this is the very thing that I didn't realize at all. I couldn't accept that I was exhausted all the time, even though I knew that that was my nervous system taking a lot of energy to get used to the new way of living, and I couldn't accept the exhaustion. I couldn't accept it, and I was grieving the moment where it felt less exhausting. And this grief, it was unconscious, and I didn't realize it was there. And because I didn't realize it was there, I couldn't release it. And if I couldn't release it, my energy drained even more in the background. And I was so relieved because that was literally the missing piece I've been looking for, and I couldn't understand what was happening. Like, oh my god, because I thought I was just afraid of ease. I was just afraid of letting go of control, but I didn't realize the grief also made me more exhausted. And now that I realized it, oh my god, my mind got quieter that night. It finally became quiet. And this is what was happening behind the grief. Like I was asking like where was the happy Angie? Where was the joyful Angie? Where was her? I was panicking. I was grieving and I didn't realize. I had to accept the fact that it's definitely going to be exhausting these days. I shouldn't push through like with my system, with the methods that work for me. This is the logic and my nervous system has learned it. If a process feels easy and it feels good, then we are safe. And if a process feels hard and exhausting, then we are failing. And my post burnout nervous system already knew something that felt pushing, hustling. It never worked for me. And suddenly my gentle system didn't work. The grief came because my nervous system couldn't tell the difference between exhaustion of failing, exhaustion of burnout, and the exhaustion of the upgrade, the growth, the building new neural pathway and keeps using it. It couldn't tell the difference, and that's why it was panicking when I felt exhausted because it thought that I might be failing again. I might reach my second burnout again. And I'm glad now that I can say it. And from now on, this is my intention. This one here. This is gonna be my intention, the new script. I'll be more compassionate with myself. Like, I will accept the fact that if I'm exhausted, I'm exhausted. I'll be patient with it. And I won't expect my energy to stay the same, to stay high. If I suddenly have headache or a nausea, which is, by the way, that's my nervous system response. I got nausea a lot during this upgrade. I will accept that. And I won't force myself to stay consistent. I won't force myself. It's enough. If you've been feeling something like this recently, then I want you to know that you're not failing. First of all, you're not moving backwards. It's just how it is. Like, I know it feels annoying, it feels disorienting. Like, we don't know what's the right thing, etc. But it's normal. It's normal. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not failing in your manifestation. It's just how it is. You did nothing wrong. Okay, you did nothing wrong. And no matter what those manifestation coaches told you about letting your mind expand, etc., etc., about embracing the expansion, etc., I want you to know that you're not sabotaging yourself. Because actually, it's not about embracing the expansion and moving forward no matter how our nervous system feels. It's not that. Our nervous system doesn't need us to push it. It doesn't want us to put another pressure to it. Like, remember when we were kids and we were crying and our parents said, "Stop crying." And oh my god, how did it feel? It didn't feel right, and it definitely didn't solve the problem because you were crying because something was wrong and you didn't know how to fix it, and you were told not to cry. That's the same. Our nervous system is crying, and it doesn't need us to tell it stop crying. It needs to feel safe. It knows it's growing and it's feeling that something is happening and it doesn't know what to do with it. It needs to make sure that it's safe. And if we keep being the harsh parent that tells it to ignore her discomfort and just be okay with it. It won't work. And no matter what they tell you about holding the expansion, we shouldn't move little by little. We just have to jump into the expansion all at once and just feel okay with it, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Please, your nervous system can expand if it doesn't feel safe. And that's why when it comes to spiritual stuff, I prefer to listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. David Hawkins. Why? Because they know how the nervous system works. They tell us to keep believing, they tell us to think bigger, they tell us to expand and grow, but at the same time, they don't ignore that we need to feel safe first before we can think, before we can create, before we can expand. So, Angie, you're saying I shouldn't follow you, I shouldn't subscribe to you. Hey, no. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. But just know, I'm not a coach. I don't want to be a coach. I don't like teaching. I love sharing. What I'm saying is be careful of what you listen on the internet. Not all of them will work, and that's okay. Like, find what works for you. And personally, those two people, those two doctors, they are my teachers, even if they never knew I existed. Yeah. So, it's my reflection for today. And if you've been feeling this way, if you've been going through the same thing, I know you believe in your heart that you're going there, but the logical mind needs proof, no? So I hope this video can soothe the logical parts that needs proof, and if this resonates with you, then come hang out with me more often. I'm in this channel, and sometimes when I don't feel like recording, I'll write on my reflective blog, so feel free to come by. I'll leave a link on the description box below. And if you're asking me what app that I use to journal, let me show you. It's called Twin Mind. I'm not sponsored. I'm simply a satisfied user who genuinely wants to share. I mean it. Here's the app if you want. And they're basically giving away their pro features. I'll share this link with you in the description box below, and feel free to download it. Again, I'm not an affiliate. They don't even know I'm promoting this app. That's all for today, and maybe see you next time. Take care, okay?